Nights of Cabiria, a fundamental motion picture, one of the very best, directed and written with others by Federico Fellini, starring Giulietta Massina, the splendid actress that has won uh, the Cannes Film Festival prize for Best Actress for this glorious film, which was also nominated for the for the Palme d'Or, and received one of the other awards, and the Oscar for Best Foreign Film. A sad, if transcendent, radiant, extraordinary creation, motion picture. Cabiria, the heroine, is sex worker. That's what we would call today. But she had the oldest, the so-called oldest profession in the world. Maybe in slang called contessa in Italian. I'm not sure at that time. Some men shouted her contessa, but I don't know if it was just mockery or so noble you are. That really meant a whore. She has to do her trade in the street, alas, and she is taken in by people of the lower ranks of society, poor people, truck drivers. But she also has, at one point, the chance, if you will, to go out with the famous actor. He had just had a fight with his lover, and as a consequence, in sort of revenge or trying to console himself, he takes Cabiria with him to a club, then to his house. The lover returns, and she has to sort of go out the back door. She moves in a sort of a circle, unfortunately. But let me stop here and say that beyond this sadness, the nature of her profession, the situation, there is more than hope. There is a transcendence and transfiguration. Let me say this, spoiler alert for the one watching this. It's about the ending, but the ending is more complex. One side of the ending is a smile, redemption, if you will. She has to suffer so much. Her life is suffering. But then in the middle of a crowd of dancing and singing people, she joins in, and she seems to see that there is the famous light at the end of the tunnel, that there is hope, that we can enjoy. We go through a lot. We have a pandemic on our hands now, and worse. There is now, as if it wasn't enough, a new COVID that is transmitting faster. So we'll see about that, if we survive. But anyway, that's the message in Termino, tată! Nights of Cabiria. I have to stop here and shoot one of these guys, and then I'll return. So, you didn't think I mean it? I mean it. Termino, porcule. It's just water that I'm using, alas, but still. Otherwise, he will break the windows with his screaming. So, in a circle, that's what I left it. She's moving in a circle. Because at the very beginning, she has a friend. She thinks he is at least fond of her, if not infatuated in love. She had been out, and he had been out with her for some time. Not much, as her friend and neighbor, another, let's call it with the name of today, sex worker. She underlined, well, how can you say you love him or you've been with him only, did she say a month? So anyway, this fellow, as they are near the river, grabs her purse and pushes her into the river, where she nearly drowns. So there you have it, a trauma from the very beginning. And then there are insults, there's the indignity, the danger, the infamy, the intense work, the psychological trauma, the adversity, and everything else that is associated with Cabiria and her life, and the life of others in her position. One hope may be, in fact, an illusion. She meets Oscar. In fact, there is in fact, the whole film is scene after scene of classic neo-realist, extraordinary filmmaking. Realini again. And there's this episode with show with a man who's performing magic. His main skill seems to be hypnosis. So he is hypnotizing a few people, and then Cabiria is on stage. She's more than reluctant and skeptic. She's mocking the idea, but once she's in a sort of a trance, we see her delicacy, we see her soul, she's exposing herself. She's speaking about this fellow, the magician, hypnotizer, has created for her Oscar. And at the end of the show, a man who says, oh, there's more than a coincidence here, I'm Oscar, and he starts seeing her and they get close to each other, and he talks about how much he respects her and he doesn't care. She's trying to push back and say, but you don't know anything about me, knowing that she's well, let's use the word of then, of those days, whore. And I know you're so tender and so innocent and naive, and finally I want to marry you. But is this for real, or this is another of the many traps that life has placed in her path? A phenomenal film.